joined by head coach Krista Kilburn-Steveski and Olivia Askin. We'll start with some opening statements from Coach Kilburn-Steveski.
I mean, obviously, I have to give credit to College of Charleston. I felt like they came out, had a little bit more enthusiasm. So obviously the result ended up being in their favor. So it was unfortunate and very disappointing for us, you know, as a program and as my two seniors here to not really be able to perform the level that we were capable of doing today, and we just didn't do it.
Coach, did it seem like maybe it was a long layoff from January that maybe you weren't that ready to change so much? Or?
No. I mean, come on, we had an abysmal second quarter. And people got a little frustrated with themselves. I'm sure, you know, people can kind of see that. Really good kids in our program that play hard, but when they have those little issues of getting a little too frustrated and trying to play through, and the momentum was a lot bigger than it should have been. Remember, you're never as bad as you think you are. You're never as good as you think you are, but you're certainly never as bad. And when that wave hits, you know, people were thinking that was they were a little bit worse than they were, and trying to draw that back. And as a coach, especially me, when these guys always say I read their minds, because their body language speaks volumes, and it's just unfortunate as a coach when you're imploring them to try to, hey, you're fine, next play, go, and it's just some of that maturity. I thought my sophomores tried to carry that load, Micaiah and Lex. I mean, you know, kudos to both of them that had to battle their own mental ups and downs, and they were really trying to, you know, fight through. You know, Marianne didn't really get a fair shot in the beginning, and she was out, so had nothing to do with January, and it was a game to play today, and we didn't really show up. Yeah.
What it means for them to kind
of right, and I'd love Liv to speak about that too. Yeah, and it was unfortunate. I tried to get him out there, right, timeout one for Liv, and called one for Ollie. You know, it was unfortunate for them. I mean, they've had the highs and lows of their career. I'm sure Liv can kind of tell you about that, and you know, and I just told him it doesn't define them as human beings. It doesn't define them as, you know, we had to struggle a little bit. But you know, it's been you know, they've been someone, both of them, very constant in our program, just always trying to lead by example, and you know, going to be deeply missed. And it would have been nicer to have a little more of a sweeter exit than a loss today. But Liv might want to make some comments.
Aliana, great girl. Love playing with her, and you know, it's not the way we want to go out, but when we went in the locker room after, me and Aliana hugged everybody, and regardless of the outcome of this season and our record and how this ended, we said, you know, it was a fun season with our team, and they're great, and they're going to be great next year, and they're going to figure it out. Unfortunately, it was just, we didn't have enough time this season, and we came back a little too late this game specifically, but yeah, playing next to Aliana, all great things to say about her. But yeah, the team's going to bounce back, and they'll be better next year. I think in that fourth quarter and third quarter, we just started pushing in transition a little bit, getting College Charleston off their feet on defense, making them move a little more. The first half was a little slow, and we just kind of got in a slump in the first half. But once we get it going, it kind of flows. It was just a little bit too late today, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, it's hard to find the positives, you know, immediately after, but we talked about that. We talked about the folks that weren't giving up, and the bench was, you know, picking up and screaming. I mean, I heard them the whole second half. You know, it was quite quiet in there the first half. So yeah, it's hard, you know, for a coach, it's you know, there's always something you have a little more time to reflect and go back and watch the film. But I think the lessons from our year, you know, these kids have taken different types of hits on and off the court, and they have done it with class, and I think that won't always be seen in the public eye because they look at your record and they struggle. But these guys have had to handle all different types of adversity, whether it was physical, whether it was mental, whether it was departures, whatever the scenario was, and they did stick together. It was just unfortunate today you didn't get to see them play 4 quarters of that energy never that you saw in the fourth quarter. You know, sometimes you often think the stage is set a little higher, the pressure's on a little bit more, and you know, people try to push a little bit too much and then shut down. So it's just an awkward reaction to what you should be doing when it struggles. So a lot of good things we'll be able to take out of it. Liv's comments, and they've been very positive to the team all year long, is just just getting them to keep their heads up and and talk about it, about where they can go as a program, and it doesn't define them from this year. So that was good leadership by her and Aliana pretty much all the time. They haven't gotten down with any of the things that we've had to struggle with, and they've kept a strong force. So proud of them for sure, and that will help us as we move forward. Hey, Mel, how you doing, sir?
What have you been around the league for a while?
Yeah.
Where would you put this at?
Well, she's, obviously Denise has done a great job. So she's just got them all working on one cylinder. And, we talk about that as a group when we go against Drexel, and just how well they play together. And, so I think that's, and they're going to be hard to beat at Drexel. So you guys know that this is a nice little home court advantage for them here. So, but, I have so much respect for Denise. I think she does some amazing job, and, her kids kind of, exemplify that this year. So it's probably one of her best to answer it, because they, she doesn't have the same guns as she's always had and the same go-tos. So they're playing more collective. Yep. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.